Well, folks, here we are again for the weekly forecast. Of course, it's the holiday weekend. There's a lot of traveling going on, and unfortunately, we do have a little bit of precipitation in the Central Plains region. But before we get to the main forecast, let's take a look at this last week. Of course, the big news was the snowstorm that hit northern Kansas and brushed portions of southern Nebraska, particularly southwestern Nebraska and portions of south central Nebraska. But as we moved up to the I-80 corridor, precipitation totals dropped off rather dramatically. In most locations, we're fortunate to get an inch to a couple inches of snowfall. And then the heavy snowfall, of course, laid down across northern Kansas, and then that exploded as it moved across Missouri and into the eastern Corn Belt, where snowfall totals in excess of 12 inches were very common. In some portions of central Illinois were up to 18 inches of snow. So as that melts, it's going to definitely delay the start to planting season. And of course, with the cool temperatures that have been locked into place for the better part of the last 2 weeks, that certainly is keeping soil temperatures from getting back up to where we would need to get them to plant. In fact, it's probably going to take a couple weeks to get there. At least in our region now, we did see some precipitation move through the last 24 hours, and the expectation as we go forward in time is that we will probably see a little bit more inclement weather today, and then we'll probably see another reinforcing shot of cold air move down the pipeline on Monday, which will probably give us a chance for some scattered snow showers and light rainfall. So let's take a look at the upper air models and see what we can see in terms of the projections going forward. And I'll draw your attention to the northwesterly flow that we're expecting today. And there is a little bit of weak energy that's going to push through the state, and that should start moving in here as we get into tomorrow. But for today, we're going to have basically clouds holding on in the east with some scattered light precipitation, maybe a clap of thunder, but nothing in the way of significant moisture. I think we'll be lucky if we get about 1/4 of an inch across the eastern half of the state. In the western part of the state, we should see some clearing sky conditions and actually nice warm temperatures for the day. Now, as we go to tomorrow, we're going to see this cold air is going to start to sweep its way through, and it should come through the state primarily during the overnight hours, where we will have a chance for scattered rain and some snow. Right now, I think the ground temperatures are too warm for us to see any significant accumulations, but it wouldn't surprise me as we get into northeastern Nebraska and portions of east central Nebraska, where we may see some light dusting of accumulations on the grass surfaces. As we go into Monday, we'll see that cold air basically shifts to the east of us, and it's going to be a raw day for across a good portion of the state. The clouds should start to break out of the region by the time we get to the midday, but we'll see temperatures that will be pretty much locked into the 30s. Now, as we get into Tuesday, that cold air starts sweeping to the east, and we'll start to see a gradual warming trend as the ridge from the west starts to build in. Looking at partly cloudy conditions and temperatures rebounding up into the 40s. As we get into the day on Wednesday, of course, that ridge starts to build into our region. Looks to be a very nice day. In fact, the next few days will be nice. As we go into Thursday also, we'll see that ridge is firmly in place here, and we'll be looking at temperatures rebounding back up into the 50s. And if we get into southwestern Nebraska, we may even approach the upper 60s. Now, as we get into Friday, we're starting to see another wave coming in, and there is indication that we could see a little light precipitation breakout with a little bit more on Saturday, and then we're looking at the 10th, 9th, and 10th for a more significant piece of energy to come out into the region and give us a substantial widespread precipitation across the northern and potentially the central plains. So if we look at the temperature forecast, what we are looking for is temperatures in the west in the 60s this weekend, and we'll start to see a cooling trend in the northeast as we get into Sunday night. And then the major precipitation may be Sunday night into Monday, where we will have a chance for some scattered rain and snow. And then pretty much benign conditions all the way through Thursday, with temperatures starting to rebound back up into the 60s, and then possibly some light precipitation as we get into Friday. Now, as we get Friday through the following Tuesday, we start to see another cold air pocket move into our region, and in terms of precipitation, we do see some precipitation moving into the northern plains.